Welcome back to A Stoic Plays, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this time around we are stoically playing Satellite Reign, which is a game put out by Five Lives Studios, a studio out of Brisbane, Australia. Now, this game is in Steam Early Access. It is currently still in beta. However, the content has all been completed, and it is now just doing bug fixes until its eventual gold release, which I believe is next month. Now, for those of you who are as old as I am, you may remember a little old gem called Syndicate. And in that game, you had a situation where corporations were all-powerful, owned most governments, and pretty much just attempted to make a profit, not caring who they harm or what destruction they do. In that game, they had cybernetically enhanced super agents that you controlled to go about and do your company's bidding. Now, Satellite Reign is billed as a spiritual successor to Syndicate, and there are many similarities. Like Syndicate, you do control a group of cybernetically enhanced agents. However, and I've only started playing it, but the difference is you seem to be in this game some kind of resistance movement who is moving against a corporation known as Dracogenics. And Dracogenics is worldwide and incredibly powerful, and the reason for this is they developed a technology called resurrection tech, or at least that's the street name for it, which allows the wealthy and connected to download themselves, I guess, so that should anything happen to them, they can be resurrected. It's functional immortality. Now, your agents have hacked into the satellite system of Dracogenics, and so you utilize their immortality technology yourself. If one of your agents falls in battle, they can be resurrected. And it's these machines here, these relay beacons, that allow that to happen. So I've gone through the tutorial, and now we are in the section called Downtown, which is open world. And you have a number of potential missions. But the first thing you want to do when you get set up is you want to lay down the groundwork for more relay beacons. And you can see in mission control, you can see your different goals here. First thing we have to do is rescue an infiltrator, which is one of the big missions of this particular area. And you can, if you have the money, which we do, purchase information. And different missions have different people you can purchase information from, and they cost different amounts. But for $100, let's see what we get. So we've learned that there is a secondary entrance on the western side of the complex with an unlocked door that's mostly ignored and half-assed security at best. Also, there's some leftover crap from a construction project from a few months back, heavy cables that never got any electricity pumped to them are still anchored to the building on the southern end of the complex and anchored up high. These would give us a great way over the fence if you've got the right gear, or if you are just willing to take the risk of a 3-story drop. Now, right now, my guys cannot take the risk of a 3-story drop. So what we're actually going to do in this Stoic Plays episode is we are going to focus on setting up our presence downtown by setting up relay beacons. Now, what you can do here is you can activate a ping, which will show you where all of these beacons are. Now, our team somewhere, where are we exactly? Okay, way down here. Okay. That's really strange, actually, because this is the beginning of the tutorial. I think I did something wrong here when I loaded the game. Maybe it put me back in at the beginning, but what I really want to do is I want to go up here. And I think you can fast travel there, which is what I will do. And here we are. So during the tutorial, I basically blew up my way through here. Man, what a hassle. This was all action during the tutorial, but apparently the game put me back to the beginning when I saved and reloaded. And the whole reason I did that was so I wouldn't have to have you sit through the linear tutorial. But it's okay, we'll be fine. As you can see, when you glide like that, some people get hurt. But you can, using your trusty resurrect tech, get them back up. Alright, your guys can also sprint for limited amounts of time if you double-click the right mouse button. Otherwise, they just walk normally with one click of the right mouse button. My team has different specialties. This gentleman is a soldier. This gentleman is a support, which means he can see the world in world scan mode, which just kind of tells you who's an enemy, who's a friend, what electronic devices are connected to each other, so on and so forth. And then we have a hacker who can hack, which is what he just did on this terminal. Okay. So the... Oh, geez. So the purpose of this in the tutorial was to get around these guys and make it into downtown, which I was successful in doing, but apparently we're back to where we began. So, oh, let's get that though. Ammo's good. Alright. This game is a little bit more stealthy in general than I remember the old Syndicate game of being. In Syndicate, you basically led 4-man hit squads, and your mission was to destroy every single other 4-man hit squad of the rival corporations in whatever map you were playing in. In this one, however, there's a lot more just kind of skulking about, hacking things, so it's a bit more complex. So what we just did was we turned off the camera, basically. And now we have to get our hacker over there to open up the downtown area. And once that's done, we will be in. Alright, and see, that is one of these places where you can put a relay beacon. So we're going to get up there. And also, if you want to holster all of your weapons, just press spacebar. And that way you can walk around with civilians not going crazy, wondering why there's a bunch of guys running around with weapons. So once you've placed a beacon, not only will you resurrect there, but you can also purchase weapons and things like that when you have money. And that's another goal that you start out with, is making money. And so far, the only way I've found to reliably do that is to find ATM machines and hack them. But you skim a little bit off the top. If any of you have seen the movie Office Space, it's the same principle. They just round the numbers a little differently, and as such, the money goes into your pocket, and it's a very small amount, but if you add it up, it adds up. So this requires a hacker level of 2, which we currently don't have, so we are going to skip it. And these machines I've seen around, they require hardwiring skill, though I'm not entirely sure what they do. Like any good future game, it's dystopian. Again, just like the original Syndicates. There was also a game that came out after Syndicate called Syndicate Wars. I had never played that one, but I assume it was similar in scope. Kind of Blade Runner-esque in terms of the atmosphere. And as you explore this kind of open world district, you learn more things. As long as your weapons aren't out, these patrols shouldn't cause you any trouble, but I still like to avoid them if I can. Try not to look suspicious. But see, there is an ATM machine, and we need to hack that ATM machine in order to get some income. So let's keep our eyes out for security forces. I don't see any. So our hacker is going to hopefully go and hack that. Alright, see that camera? Almost saw us hacking, but didn't. So now we're getting a slight income, and we haven't upset or notified the authorities in any way. And that's kind of what you want to do to start out, is before you start doing the hardcore missions that require infiltration and shootouts and all that, you just want to kind of move around, explore the area, set up your relay beacons, and hack any ATMs that you can find. There's a relay beacon location right there. So let's get our agents over there. And you can zoom in, and it's fun. The graphics are nice. I mean, they did a good job, but I tend to play completely zoomed out just so that I have as much visibility as possible. But that's kind of a shame, because I am missing out on some of the little graphical details. And so when you create new relay stations, you get new dossiers. So for example, now we have a bank that we could potentially rob in order to get even more money. Or Ronin Incorporated, droid repairs, parts, and storage. And all of these have little missions that you can complete once you've discovered them. But we are just getting intelligence right now, so we aren't going to be involved in any of that. Now you'll see the minimap. The red dots are the patrol people. The white dots are just civilians. Again, you can see things more clearly by going into World Scan. So it looks like there's a ping just here. So we're going to go over there. Seems like a nice place to live. In the lore, this particular section of town is actually owned by a street gang called the Hydras, I believe, and they are semi-legitimate now. They are working alongside the Dracogenics Corporation. They're their hired security. My only assumption is as you get further into the game, you're starting to deal with more talented and dangerous security people. But we're going to set up our relay. So now we have a few more things to do. We have the City Surveillance Authority, which certainly would help us if we were able to tamper with their facial recognition software. And we have the Dracogenics Guard Station. Let's make sure we get our infiltrator in here to snoop around and see what we can find. Now, the infiltrator is the person that we need to pick up, but before we can pick that person up, we need to have the skill to utilize the zip lines. Which, frankly, I'm not sure where to get, so we'll probably not be doing that in this video. However, this definitely is a fun little game. Definitely does remind you of Syndicate. It's a bit less violent, as I mentioned, as you spend most of the time walking around peacefully. And one thing I really enjoy, because when I first started playing this, I was like, okay, well, what happens if you walk into the street? I mean, do you get arrested for jaywalking? Do the cars hit you? But no, everyone is very polite in this dystopian future and stop until you pass. So that's very good. Cannot hardwire, okay. And you always just want to scan around, keep an eye on things. On the mini-map, and actually on the big map, which you can get to by pressing M, anything that's kind of in red is an area that you are not allowed to walk into. So when you go into these areas, you have to be careful, you have to be stealthy. But anything in green is just public territory that you can walk into. So we're almost at the edge of the map, actually. And there's our one hacked ATM. There are more. I think I found 4 in my first run through here. But normally I would just go and set up these relay stations, but because I'm doing this on a video, let's see if we can't get our infiltrator. So let's just see. Rescue infiltrator, let's activate the ping. Actually, let's clear all the pings and activate this ping, so it's the only ping that we have. And we've already purchased our information. Once we're in, things might not be too hard. Almost any of your agents should be able to manage the rest of the operation and spring our agent. So it doesn't seem like it's a very difficult proposition. Let's go for it. I'm a big fan of sprinting to make the game move faster. But despite being cybernetically enhanced super agents, these guys are all old middle-aged men, I guess, because they can only sprint for like a few seconds before they're winded and out of juice. So these are not Olympic athletes we're dealing with here, despite all of their many enhancements. Okay. So this looks like the place. That looks like that back entrance that people were talking about, so let's go up there. Just nonchalantly, hey folks, just walking around with our cloaks and glowing neon green sunglasses and body armor. Don't mind us. Don't mind us one bit. These green things are elevators. Okay. So there's the camera controls. You want to stay in cover for the most part when you're doing these stealth missions because the cameras will call enemies towards you. Alright, so we are now in the red, as you can see. So we are in the police station and must be cognizant of that fact. Our agent is in there. I failed to see where that zip lining thing was, those cables. Oh, I see. Okay. So if you climbed up here, you could have taken this cable down. But I think our way was actually better. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our hacker by himself, and we're going to try to hack the security cameras. And success. So that gives us a little bit of time to operate without the worry of those cameras. Let's get him in there. Let's get everybody in there. And you can see down here, they have 4 little orange boxes. That is your alert settings. So that, see how they all have little exclamation points? So there's minor alert. As it gets higher, that means you're closer to being discovered. I'm going to try to do this stealthily. So we're going to wait till these good police officers go back from whence they came. It'll also give us a chance to refresh our action points. Okay. This gentleman's going back, and so is this gentleman. So let's just wait until their backs are to us. And sprint. Okay, come on, guys. Get hidden. All right, hacker. Hack. We might have to shoot our way out because the cameras are going to go back online pretty soon. All right, we're in. Let's get our infiltrator. All right, so now we have an infiltrator. He has a... is that a sniper rifle? Alright, so we have to get out to safety. Looks like there's a side exit here. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so this is the zip line. But I don't think that's a way out. I think you can only zip line down. We must escape with our infiltrator. Oh, crap. Go back. Go back. You didn't see anything, cop. All right. Well, you know what? I'll show you guys some violence. Let's have a shootout. Oh, geez. I did want to get some cover first, though. Well, that's okay, not a problem. Of course, by making noise, we've alerted the authorities. Oh, our hacker gained a level. And sucks to be you. Now, when your agents gain a level, you can spend skill points to give them various bonuses. For example, this gentleman can have more health, he can have better weapon specialism, but I'm actually going to raise his hacking level, because that will allow us a bit more freedom in the world. You just assign that. Why are you... Can he gain a level too? Since he is our soldier, I think maybe health might be a good idea for him. Okay. Alright. So the camera's moving. Now that the camera's done, let's get out of here. No, everyone. Come on. Alright. Back to the elevator. Excellent. Let's get under cover. Alright, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. And we have our infiltrator. Of course, it is like the first quest. Mission complete. Tag is your computer. She has an Australian accent, which makes sense. Looks like the band's back together. We got a prototype weapon. We can either send it off to research and development to try to mass produce the weapon, or you can give it to one of your agents right away. Be warned though, we only have one prototype. Surprise, surprise, we found... Oh yeah, I know all this already. Alright. Well, I definitely know what I want to do. I want to have this researched. How do I do that? Find fresh clones. The clones will degrade after each cloning procedure, so you'll need to acquire fresh resources. Oh, just like in the original Syndicate, where you got your agents by kidnapping people off the street. Apparently that's something that you do in this game as well. Excellent! Because we're not horrible people enough. Alright, so... let's put our weapons away, so that we look like good little civilians. Field medic. Yeah, let's do that. And Control A selects everyone. Alright, so how do we send this weapon prototype? Nope, put your weapon away, sir. I want to send this prototype for research. Maybe if I go to this particular agent and look at his gear, weapons. Is it the Lincoln? Ah, here we go. Prototype. Okay. So, this item is currently a prototype. If an agent is equipped with a prototype dies, yeah, I know. That's why I want to research with it. Oh, okay. So I guess it does show up in your available research. So we are researching it. I guess that's for the best. So he should no longer have it. Or she. I'm so sorry. I've been calling you a he all this time, and actually, you are quite obviously feminine. My apologies. Alright. So, what are we going to do now? Let's go and set up another... Where is it? Set up another relay beacon before calling it an episode. We'll go up and get the downtown one, or the one right in the middle of downtown, since all of this technically is downtown. And there's another ATM machine. Alright. Perfect. Barefoot's locksmith and foot repair. Okay. It's an interesting business prospect. Alright, I don't see any police officers. Hacker, go do your thing, buddy. Excellent. And now we're earning more money. And money, of course, is used to purchase weapons, purchase tips from shady individuals, and so on and so forth. So where is this downtown ping here? Alright, so it's way up here. Alright. So let's go up here. Okay, we've been here before. Let's search the area for a nice civilian to clone. You know, we could do that later, actually. We don't have to do that right this minute. But I guess if we were going to do that, we would use our world scan. Okay, let's select this gender guy, gal, and see what information we can get for a little extra money. Mrs. Violet Waller. She's a female. Profit margins are narrow in the city. If you're not a big shot CEO, you're working hard for your next score and just trying to keep your business afloat. Purchase extra info for $20? Sure. Can I not purchase the info? Maybe I'm not close enough to her? Or maybe she's walking toward us. That's what's going on. Maybe, I don't know. Hello. Can we purchase info? No? Oh, we're out of money. Where'd all of our money go? Oh, research and development cost. Aha. Alright, well. So, yeah. That was kind of a fiasco, but one of my own making. Certainly not the game's fault. Although it could have potentially been made more clear that researching costs money. Maybe it did in the description. I just didn't read it thoroughly enough. Alright. Iro and Iro's Supermarket. And another ATM. Right next to a very surprised-looking orange woman. Scratching post. Alright, I don't see any of the fuzz here, so let's do what we need to do. And that's more money in our cybernetically enhanced pockets. And here we are. Relay post. Our soldier is going to set that up. And done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, this has been Satellite Rain, once again in beta, out next month, I think, legitimately, from 5 Lives Studios. And I'm really looking forward to playing it some more. I'm looking forward to get back some of that love and feeling that I had back playing Syndicate many, many moons ago. And I can only imagine that in future areas, the game gets even more complex and interesting. So once again, I am Marcus Aurelius. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.